guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is AnnaMariaPDT and thank you so much for joining me here today. Like it says in the title, this is going to be a first impressions makeup tutorial using the Kylie Cosmetics Calm Before the Storm eyeshadow palette as well as the Weather Collection highlighter palette. Did I love them or did I hate them? Were they hits or were they misses? But before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button down below and that notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I post a new video. YouTube has been kind of crazy recently and doing those 3 things would really help me out. So if you want to see how to get this look and see what I think about these products, please continue watching. Here we go. I am barefaced. And we are going to start with eyeshadow primer. I never really show this because everybody knows how to prime their lids. And I'm using the Milani eyeshadow primer. I love this because it's very lightweight. It has an invisible finish. I'm just gonna put this right here. Oh, I should probably put my hair back. And I like to let it dry a little bit before adding the powder. And my bangs are longer now, so they can be tucked behind my ear. I'm trying to grow out my bangs. I don't want bangs anymore. They've just been a hassle. I'm using the Physicians Formula Translucent Powder. Just gets the job done easily. So I've been a little MIA because I couldn't film. I sprained my wrist for a good 2 weeks, I'd say, and it was so painful. I don't even know how I did it. I just couldn't move it back and forth. I couldn't put any pressure on it. Even just doing simple things like pulling my seatbelt in to buckle it was very hard and it hurt so much. So I rested it. I probably pulled a muscle or something, but I'm back. I could bend it. I could put pressure on it. And we're gonna do some good makeup today. All right, so we're using the Kylie Jenner Calm Before the Storm palette. It is very pastel themed and I'm not used to these kind of shades, so I'm gonna play around. This is going to be a first impressions, like I said earlier, and hopefully it turns out good. So for my first transition shade, I'm going to go in with this shadow. It's called True Love. It's a nice baby pink shadow. And this is going all over the crease. Ooh, it's very light. It is really light. Okay, I'm just gonna have to really pack on this shadow. There's a lot of kickback on the pan. There's a lot of fallout. So since this is my first crease shade, I need to add another one because this is way too light. You'd think it would show up on my light skin color, but it's a little too pale and it's making me look a little greasy. Sunshine right there. You're gonna deepen up the crease. Oh, that is really pale. Okay. I'm just gonna add a little bit on this side because it's not turning out the way I like. Just gonna have to even out the eyelids. I don't like the yellow. I'm gonna have to deepen it up with a different shade. I think I'm gonna deepen it up with Aquarius, the purple, because that's probably the darkest shade in this palette. And there needs to be some definition in these eyelids because right now, these are so pale, it's insane. And I'm going in pretty heavily with the brush when I'm dipping it into the pan. It's just, I'm starting to look like Easter, which I guess is okay because Easter is coming up, so that yellow is completely gone from my eyelids. There's still a little bit of pink because I'm focusing the purple shadow on the outer part. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do with the eyelids now. I might wet my brush and use the pink all over the lid and then maybe add a little bit of purple on the inner and outer corner, kind of like a halo eye. Actually, what I'll do is the inner and outer corners first with a dry brush, and if it doesn't show up, I'm gonna use a wet brush. Here we go. Don't you love first impressions? So I'm going to use Heaven Sent on the inner and outer corners. Oh, okay. Okay. It's not bad. And once I place all the shadows where I want them to be, I'm going to wet my brush and go over it again. Okay, I'm gonna wet my brush with Fix Plus and use that same shadow to go over that same area. So that didn't work. It kind of just erased the shadow. Yeah, I guess packing it on is better. Do not swipe because it will take away that shadow. There we go. It is much more pigmented. Can you see that? I'm gonna spray the same brush and dip it into Sweet Sweet, this shade right here, this nice shimmery pink. I'm gonna put this in the middle. You know what? Let me use my finger because it might be better. It's a very Coachella type look, and I think it'll work for that kind of event, but for every day, this is a lot. There's a lot going on. I'm gonna have to do a close-up so you can see what's going on, but I really have to get into another palette and add a dark shade on the outer corner because right now it's looking very light and I'm not used to it. I'm just gonna finish this eye off camera and I'll be right back. Y'all already know how I feel about this palette. So these are the eyes so far. It reminds me a lot of Cotton Candy, but it is very shimmery, if you can see. Look. I'm going to go in with my Holy Grail, the MAC Wedge Shadow, just around the edges to blend some more. And this is just slightly going above everything, just a little bit. Just going to add more of a beige shadow to transition into the brow bone highlight. Not too much, because I don't want to take away that purple crease color either. So just going lightly around everything. And since they don't have a brow bone highlight, I mean, you could technically use one of these shimmer shades, but it's gonna be a little too crazy for me. I'm going to use Makeup Geek's Sand Dollar right on my brow bone. And it's just a matte white shade. I think it'll fit perfectly with this look because I'm not trying to be shimmery everywhere. If you just want to keep it pastel, you can just leave it like this, but I want to add a little bit more definition on the outer parts, maybe the inner corners as well. So I'm going to go in with a darker shadow, maybe a dark purple. So from the Tarteist Amazonian Clay palette, the Pro one, I'm going to take the shadow Vamp, and I'm going to put that on the inner and outer corners. Yes. Yeah, see, it's all coming together. I really think that Kylie should have put a dark shadow in this palette, just one, because it can be used for anything to deepen up the look. That's just my opinion. All right, I'm going to do the inner corner just slightly. I'm not gonna fully pack on this shadow. I just want a slight definition on the inner corners. Looks so much better with a little bit of darkness. Adding just a little bit of this dark shadow on the inner corners makes the slightest difference, but I can totally tell and I love it. Just slightly going over everything, just a little bit. There we go. So I have my brows on and I decided to line the lash line with that same dark shadow. I'm gonna show you how I did it. I'm using a small definer brush, kind of like putting eyeliner, but this is shadow, of course. Now I'm going to add my lashes and I'm going to use the Kiss Blooming Lash in the style Tulip. So that is the lower lash line with the purple. You can't even really see it. Can you even see that? You can see a little bit of it. Going back in with Vamp. I'm gonna wet this one and use the pink on the inner corner. I'm gonna use the shade Little Wonder for my inner corner highlight. So I was looking through my collection of gel pencils and I found this LA Girl Glide Gel Liner, and it is not showing up. So be right back. I'm gonna get something better. So because it didn't work, I'm gonna use this Lancôme Drama Liqui-Pencil. Bottom mascara is a must with this look because of the dramatic lashes we have on top. So now I'm just gonna be doing some bronzer with the Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. I did a little bit of contour already, but I'm just gonna bronze up some more. Now we are going to use some of these highlighters from her newest collection, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I think I'm gonna use a mixture of this, this, and this. I'm just gonna mix all of these as my highlighter and see what happens. Do you see this? Yes! Oh, I love it. Don't forget over the brows. Okay, and then we're gonna do blush. We're gonna use this Nars Blush in Goulue. Just over that whole cheek, taking it back over the bronzer. This has a little bit of shimmer as well. Just going to clean up the edges of my bronzer and blush with some powder for a more defined contour. And then I'm also going to do that with my nose. I'm just going to bake the sides of my nose and leave it there for a few minutes and then brush it away. For lips, I'm going to line them with MAC's Soar Lip Pencil. Do a little bit of overlining, not too much. KKW by Kylie Cosmetics Cream Liquid Lipstick in the shade Kimmie. I didn't want the lip color to be too pink, so I went with this kind of peachy nude shade. And then I'm going to top it off with the Smashbox O-Plump Lip Plumper Gloss with Goji Berry Complex. But it does plump up the lips a little bit. And this is the finished look. Overall, I'm really happy with how the eyeshadow look turned out. The only complaint that I have about the Calm Before the Storm eyeshadow palette is that I wish there were more shadows to play around with, more specifically darker shades and highlight shades. If you do like the whole pastel vibe, then I highly recommend it. But if you don't, I just say skip it. But do not sleep on this highlighter palette. First of all, this packaging is so cute, but all of these shades are absolutely gorgeous. I am really obsessed with how it turned out on my cheeks. If it fits my skin tone, then I think it'll fit everybody else's. I swear it's going to be my new holy grail. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.